What's happening YouTube? This is John, nerding out with cards, and I got more new cards. So it's been a pretty crazy week. Traveling from California back home on leave. But last weekend, I took a trip to Petaluma, and at the advice of Tops 85401, I went to this card shop there called the Strike Zone, and walking through there, not expecting much, but I found two really cool cards. And they got a lot of Pokemon, they got a lot of local San Francisco stuff naturally. But I'm walking through there, and I saw these two cards, and I was in the market for them anyway, so I was like, nah, screw it, I'm gonna pick them up. The first is this Jim Hart rookie card, and I picked this up for my St. Louis Football Cardinals Hall of Fame collection, because he's in the Cardinals Ring of Honor, and that's going to be kind of the scope for that team. I got my Greatest Show on Turf, and then I also have Kansas City Chiefs Hall of Fame collection going, and like the Len Dawson is prohibitively expensive, so it's like for the Chiefs, I'm not really targeting rookie cards or first Chiefs cards, but maybe cards that well into their careers that kind of speak to their greatness kind of thing. And so I found this Len Dawson card, which I thought was really cool because, picking up a Chiefs card in the San Francisco area, because of the recent Super Bowls. But, this one, 1970, so this is the year after they won the Super Bowl. They beat the Vikings, and it talks about his performance and, his great playing career up to that point. With quarterbacks, or NFL period, right? The statistics are just out of this world from, generation to generation to generation, right? And, the numbers that are put up in today's football blows these guys out of the water. But while they were playing, they were really good quarterbacks, Hall of Fame worthy even. So, that kind of goes into football team Hall of Fame collections I'm working on. But then, came home and had a bunch of cards waiting for me. The first one I'm going to show, I finally pulled the trigger on this one, after watching Brent Richards of Baseball Cards, because he had shown Stadium Club Ozzie Smith card. And I was just like, man, that image, whatever, I'm just going to do it now. But I did want to get the same one, nothing against, being a copycat or anything, but, with Ozzie, his gold gloves, I had to get a different variant, right? And so what I did was I got the 2019 Stadium Club that Brent had shown, but I got the gold minted version. I know a good while back, I think Shane had shown gold minted Stadium Club cards, like Hank Aaron or something. But like I said, Brent's video kind of put me over the edge. Ozzie doing that flip in front of the hall. And then at the same time, it's like, I think this pairs really nicely with, this Fleer Greats card that I picked up, so, commemorative, Hall of Fame theme stuff of Ozzie. So it went very well together. I got some new additions for my Ken Boyer collection. With Ken, you've heard me talk about it. Like, I don't think he's going to get into the Hall of Fame, and everybody says that he should. They think he will. I'm kind of a cynic at this point. Don't think he will. But one of the things is Ken is the only Cardinal to have his number retired that's not in the Hall of Fame, player-wise. So I was like, man, I wonder if there's cards out there that kind of commemorate his number being retired. And luckily for me, there is. And I'm going to show both of these at the same time as they go together. But back in 2001, I believe. Yeah, 2001, Topps Tribute. Keeping the memory of Ken alive. But yeah, it's talks about his numbers retired by the St. Louis Cardinals, number 14. And they're both game used bad cards. There's a base card. I don't have it. But yeah, this one's got the number, and then this one's got the stencil. Yeah, I thought that was really cool. You know, you look at some of the all-time greats in this set, they go for quite a bit, but, you know, on the heels of not getting selected, Kens are not that much. I don't know anything about the print runs or anything like that. They're not serial numbered. I just thought they were just really, really cool. So, yeah, got those two Ken Boyer cards. And then to go along with Ken Boyer, you know, the 64 World Series, you know, him and his brother were both in that World Series. His brother Cleet was a third baseman for the Yankees. You know, Ken's a third baseman for the Cardinals. Not only that, but they both homered in Game 7 of the World Series. So I was like, you know, I'm going to get a Cleet Boyer card. So I picked up the 64. Really cool card. I need to get a Cloyd Boyer, you know, because the three brothers that were in Major League Baseball at the time. Yeah, thought that was pretty neat. Added to the Ken Boyer collection, right? Because it's my collection, my rules. You know, I talked about, you know, Brent being inspiration. You already saw my cool Papa Bell cards, and you know that I showed that book that I read of his, and you know there's a couple other players that really stuck out in that book. St. Louis Stars players in the first iteration of the Negro Leagues, and so one of them was Willie Wells. Still looking for like the right card to get of him, but the other player was Mule Suttles, and I saw this card, and you can see it's a St. Louis card, right? But this is a National Treasured Stats, and it's serial numbered out of 99. But it highlights his .425 batting average in 1926. You know, and then on the back of the card, it talks about that tremendous season he had, and it was like, what, 89 games? Yeah, 89 games, 152 hits, 19 triples, 32 home runs, and 133 RBIs to go along with that .425 batting average. But yeah, I thought that was a really cool Suttles card to pick up. Like I said, still on the hunt for a Willie Wells card, but this one just kind of like, when I saw it, I was like, got to get that. So, another inspiration, but this time it was from a commenter, right? So, you know, when I did that, you know, why I collect Chief Feller video, there was a commenter, Sven Patrick 1637, and he had commented that, you know, he liked the video, and that's great, but that he collects Hank Bauer. And the reason is because, you know, Sven Patrick, he's a Marine, and well, Hank Bauer is a Marine, was a Marine, whatever. You know, and then, you know, both him and his brother served in World War II. His brother did not survive, but Hank did. And, you know, he ended up becoming a Yankee great, part of a lot of World Series teams. And then at the same time, he's got a really cool place in Major League Baseball history. You know, he was a part of a Roger Maris trade. He later on went to be a manager, a World Series winning manager. So, you know, after I saw that comment, I was just like, yeah, I want to learn more about him. And so I did. I looked him up. And then come to find out, he's from East St. Louis, you know, and East St. Louis is like 15, 20 miles from where I'm at, you know, and so it's like, oh man. And you know, I like the local players, right? You see my Yogi and Garagiola cards and all that. You've heard me talk about it. So I got this 58 Hank Bauer card. And this one's really cool because on the back, you know, it talks about World Series performances and everything. And then you see that middle cartoon talks about him being a Marine 42 to 45 in the war. And so when I was looking up Hank Bauer's cards, and like, yeah, the Bowman ones are pretty sweet. You know, the natural inclinations always get the rookie card. But then when I saw the back of this one, I was like, man, That is just too cool. This is his last Yankees card as well. But, being on the Yankees, he got to play in a lot of World Series. And so, he has the record for most consecutive hit streak in World Series, like 17. But yeah, so I picked up that card. And like I said, with him being a manager later on in his career and a World Series winning manager, went ahead and picked up this card of his from the year that he led the Orioles to a World Series championship. So, thanks to Sven Patrick, I got a couple cards of a local legend. Man. So yeah, it's like the videos, like Brent and Shane and people of the like. There's also the commenters, that can influence us to buy cards. And if it wasn't for that comment, I'd still be clueless, wouldn't have these cards. But that was great. Then keep going along with the local theme. I've had this card for a while now, a few years. But I got this Jason Tatum rookie card. And because he's local kid, tremendous player. He just got hurt though. And so, it's neat, but it's a Boston card, what have you. But then 2025, this year, Baseball Topps has this first pitch subset or whatever. And well, Jason Tatum threw out a first pitch at a Cardinals game last year, and he's on one of them. There he is, wearing the Cardinals red, throwing the first pitch at Busch Stadium. So I picked this up, and naturally there's 100 variants of this. I just went with the base card, and it'll pair nicely with this card. Thought that was really neat. And then the last three cards, I don't know really anything about the WNBA. I know Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese have taken the sport by storm, got them on the TV a lot. But the year that they got drafted, there was another player that got drafted, and the only reason why I know of this is because in the local headlines, there was a local gal who was also drafted, and she went to Edwardsville High School here. It's where my parents went, where my sisters went. My kids might end up going there. And she also went to school or college in Iowa. She was a Hawkeye with Caitlin Clark. And she got drafted by the Las Vegas Aces. But then this year in the expansion draft for the Golden State Valkyries, she got selected by them. Anyway, Kate Martin. I looked up stats. I don't know. It doesn't appear she's doing tremendous. Doesn't really matter. It's really cool that a local gal, made it to the WNBA. You can see I got the orange cracked ice or whatever this is. Went with something fun. My daughter might like it. But orange is also the Edwardsville Tigers team's colors. And so I was like, I'll go with that one. You can see it's got a college card, pro card, and draft card, but they're all in the same set. But yeah, I thought that was kind of fun, cheap, little mini run to pick up. But like I said, it kind of goes along with the whole local players, legends theme. I do got some more cards on the way. I finally put in a shipment request from ComC. They've had cards of mine that I've purchased anyway for, some of them for like up to a year. But you know how it is, like with your requesting a shipment from them, it takes so long. And with my schedule the way that it's been, like where am I going to be? And if I'm not on top of it, I don't time it right. So anyway, I finally requested a shipment. There's going to be some really, really cool cards coming into that. Got a few Ozzie cards on the way. And then I'm hoping to hit up a card show that I just so happen to get into town for. Get to meet Joe at Redneck Collector, hopefully. That'd be really cool. Might take a card with me that it's like, I like it. Do I love it? I mean, I like it a lot. It's a tremendous card. If I ever get rid of it, would I replace it? No. They're kind of expensive. I won this in a Facebook group, but yeah, I got this Topps Dynasty Yadier Molina. You know, on-card auto, this patch. I mean, these... But I wonder if I can trade it for his 2004 Topps Gold card. I think I want to do that run in gold. You know, the theory is go with the biggest card, get the biggest card first, and then kind of go from there. I don't know. I'll take it with me, and we'll see what happens. You know, and then when I'm at the show, you know, I'll try to get some footage. Maybe give Joe some crap. I don't know. But anyway, that'll be really cool. You know, might have a video coming from that. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the cards. Like I said, you know, the inspirations, right? That was a couple videos ago that I did. You know, did the whole VR thing. I think there's only been a few that have done it, which is what it is. But, you know, I still, you know, get inspired by, you know, content creators and commenters alike. So, like I said, hope y'all enjoyed this, and y'all have a good one.